So we are happy to continue with our case studies, and the first speaker is the Director, Toya Environment Association, Mr. Oray Kaya from Turkey. He was born on 25th March 1962, and in 1989, finished political science in Ankara University, worked for economy newspaper, Duia, till 2004, and he worked for UNDP project Local Agenda 21 from 2005 to 2008. And since 2009, he's been working for the local development in Toya Environment Association. He has contacts with Rus Corporation.eu from 2014 and works as a regional partner for them. He organizes every year the International Renewable Energy Cooperative Conference, and he's been a speaker in the COP 223, born in 2017 with International Risk Corp. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Oray.
Thank you so much. I think everyone knows the local Agenda 21 because it begins everything with the Rio conference in 1992. And after the Rio conference, we planned, and also all the governments and states planned the municipality will be more powerful in their cities, in their lives, and this is really very important for this. And the local Agenda 21 was a very big program of this one, and the local Agenda 21 was very powerful in Turkey also, and I was a member there. During this program, we have learned so many things because gender equality is one of the most important things for local development and especially for rural development. And for this part of this growing system and growing the economic system, the local cooperatives are more higher and more visible for this one. I will tell you a little bit about this, how we can begin. In 2008, we want to do a gender equality project with the UNDP, and we planned how we can do it. And first of all, the companies in our region said they need people that works in their companies, in their fabrics, and they need a forklift operator. And we said, oh, we can do this with women, because in Turkey, especially in our region, there are so many women car drivers. Their drivings, normally, you can see one of the three car drivers, you can see is a lady. And that said, when a lady can drive a car, so she can also drive a forklift. Why not? And we made a smart production about this project, and it was really functional since it was the project in 2008. And after this project, now we have only in our city, I'm living in Çanakkale, have 130,000 inhabitants, and that's in our city. We have more than 40 women that are working in fabrics, in municipalities, or in different organizations with high-power engine machines, forklifts, and other operators. So that shows us very good opportunities, and so we can do, so we must do open our systems. And especially, we are organized since 2013, we are working then directly with energy cooperatives. For the energy cooperatives, it's more important, it's because in Turkey it's really very important. It is because we are producing our energy direct from the fossil parts, from coal or natural gas. And we will so quickly found and return from this one. And with these renewable energy cooperatives, we are thinking we can change the energy producing system direct from our country and also from our regions. And when we think about this, we have done something, and we have invite also women direct to this sector, and we think direct with women, working with women, and we organize the cooperatives with women also. So this is very important because the energy sector is a very manpower sector, but we have the experience that women can also do that what the women can do. Yeah, that's right, I know, thanks. We know it, but how we can, when we think how we can do it then, we said all times we are doing with cooperatives, and especially we have taken direct the women power in the agricultural cooperatives, because in agricultural cooperatives in Turkey, we have more members than in other sectors, because 50% of the agricultural workers are women, and more than 25% of the members in agricultural cooperatives are also the women, and that helps us working with agricultural cooperatives can be more effective, so we can change direct the poverty of the renewable energy and the poverty, the women poverty in renewable energy cooperatives also. Here you see the picture that we organize every year. It's a Renewable Energy Cooperatives Conference. And as I said, it is a very new sector in Turkey. We don't have any experience till 2013 what we can do and how we can do as an energy cooperative. Then we organize it, these conferences since 5 years, and we share every time with the experiences of different countries, different energy companies, or different agricultural or different types of cooperatives. So so quickly we can learn how we grow up, especially this sector. But it's really very important for us. We invite to these conferences every time women cooperatives. So we will learn, and maybe they can learn also from other experiences, what we can do together, women and energy, how we can bring them, women and energy together. And this is from the last year's Energy Cooperatives Conference, and now we are working also direct with the municipalities also. These are producing renewable energy in their local areas. Renewable energy and agricultural cooperatives grow up really very interesting, and now we begin since 2018 with an UNDP project again. This is to help the agricultural cooperatives to produce their own energy with renewable energy sources. And by this time, we learned that also the women poverty is very important by this one. And with this woman, we can grow up more, and we can find also direct, more effective ways to come and produce the energy with renewable energy sources and parts direct in their cooperatives and also in their own capacity homes or other sectors. These are some trainings and some visitings from the cooperatives, the women cooperatives or agricultural cooperatives to different parts of agricultural renewable using in agricultural cooperatives. I show you some different pictures from this one. And this is a site visit from the agricultural cooperatives. We led them to a renewable energy cooperative to produce how they produce their technical so they learned the technical details there, and it was very functional then. In 2017, we grow up our own energy cooperative. It is the Troya Renewable Energy Cooperative. And the Troya Energy Cooperative is the first and the only energy cooperative that managed direct from ladies. These 5 ladies are the managers of the cooperative. And the cooperative have 27 members and produce now 250 kilowatt capacity with solar, but in future they will produce a 1 megawatt wind power energy system. I will thank you for everything. That was very quickly, so thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ora. And I am happy now to introduce to you our last speaker, who is going to present a case study from Kenya, Mr. Jonathan Kikoyo. He's the program director for We Effect. Jonathan Kikoyo is a development practitioner who has worked mainly with non-government organizations for the past 16 years in the Eastern African region. 9 of these working years have been spent at We Effect Regional Office of Eastern Africa, focused on supporting smallholder farmers and other member-based organizations to mainstream gender equality into their institutions and operations. Jonathan has been supporting both gender equality mainstreaming and women empowerment, specific interventions in the cooperative movement. He has worked in promoting women's participation in decision-making by supporting them to take up leadership and organize them into advocacy units. Access to and control over resources are the key among them. Being access to land is another sector he has engaged in alongside economic empowerment of women, among others. He's currently pursuing a doctorate degree in development studies, focusing on patriarchy and its influence on women empowerment. Currently, he's the program director for We Effect Regional Office of East Africa based at Nairobi. Can I please request Mr. Jonathan to come at the podium to give his presentation?
Thank you very much, Moderator, for the opportunity. Let me begin by introducing We Effect. That We Effect works with cooperatives and member-based organizations, basically supporting them to gain the efficiency that they require to deliver the mandate that is expected from them by their members. We work in sectors of rural development and adequate housing. So I'll speak about 2 case studies in coffee and dairy farming. So why does We Effect find it very necessary to talk about gender equality in supporting the cooperative movement? Like one of the presenters, one of the people in the plenary mentioned, there are a lot of challenges which come out when we do gender analysis in cooperatives, may it be coffee, may it be dairy, or cotton. There are conspicuous gender equality gaps, one of them being male domination of coffee sector. And I think my friend there, Mr. Nyaga, mentioned that, for example, coffee is dominated by male farmers. And not just male farmers, but very old male farmers. That is a big challenge. And the reasons for these gender gaps mainly are social-cultural factors. Social-cultural factors and stereotypes that exist in communities, perspectives that people hold regarding cooperatives. For example, coffee cooperatives are viewed as men engagements, and women have little to do with coffee, which is not really the case, because when you look at that photo, which is on the right side, most of the time you find it's women who are providing labor in the farms. They are the ones who are delivering the coffee. But most of the time, when it comes to payment, it's men who show up in the cooperatives to get payment. So quite a conflict. This is the reality that we are dealing with. Some of the cooperatives, the rules that they do have, also in a way discriminate women. For example, when a cooperative says that for you to become a leader of a cooperative, you must have this quantity of coffee. While you very well know that women have very small parcels of land, for those who are lucky to have one, then at the end of the day, you find that women are not participating in leadership. Again, education, access to information, this has already been talked about by previous speakers. So you find a situation whereby women are constantly providing labor, they are participating in coffee value chain, but at some point they are cut off. So when we realized this, we said, then this is not leading us to sustainable development. A situation whereby a whole sector of the population is being left out. They are not reaping the benefits of the work or the input that they are putting into this process. Then this is not sustainable development. If women put in their efforts and then the men take all the income, and then how it's utilized, women do not have a say over that, and they remain there. Children do not go to school. They have no meals. That becomes a big problem. So what we did in Kipkelion, one of the cooperatives that we are working with, Because we realize it's a socio-cultural issue, we engage with gender equality organizations so that they can work closely with this cooperative and begin to sensitize the community, hold regular community conversations. Why is it that women are not participating? Why is it that women cannot make decisions over the incomes that come out of the coffee, yet they are providing labor? So over a long time, then it was agreed that in that community, that women should also become members of the cooperative, and they should be members who are delivering their own coffee also. So as a process, as a result of this, because coffee is a long-term process, what happened is that the cooperative initiated income-generating activities which are quick wins. For example, greenhouse farming, dairy farming, poultry keeping, and things like that. We knew very well this is not the objective. The objective is for them to get into coffee, but these were entry points. So what happened after this? Women formed village saving and loaning associations, similar to what our friend from India was talking about. This is quite huge because now they are at the point where they want to form their own circle at that level. Maybe we can hear some voices of the women. Let's have the first video and hear what the women are saying about their experience.
Be talking to their fathers, to their husbands, to at least to give them a share. Even a very small share won't be just encouraging them to work hard, because what matters is the working hand. Even if you're given very little or a very small piece of land, you'll be able, if you only have to work hard, you'll be able to manage and get a lot of money in it. What matters is working hard.
Listen to another voice, the second video, and see how the livelihoods of women have been transformed as a result of these diversified livelihood opportunities and involvement in coffee.
So I found myself, I was helpless because I was not being given anything, but when this farmers came and trained us, I found myself, and I have to be very courage. I have a courage to talk with my husband. Why is it to be? Is it that to be when I'm working in the farm and you take away the things all together without giving me anything? But now you come and sit down and you tell me, so what do you want? I told him, I want us to do a work together and we share what is coming. Because even my old age is coming, and I have nothing to give in my children. So he decided and told me, now we shall be sharing what is remaining. And so I was happy. We have to come together and we think together. We share together. Everything can become well.
Yes, so what we've done is we've introduced what we call the household approach, whereby both men and women, they are encouraged to sit down. Some of these communities, it's communities where hardly men and women sit to talk or discuss anything development. So over time, we've encouraged coming together, sitting and discussing issues affecting their families. And as the lady was presenting, she was saying that she never used to benefit from anything that was coming from coffee or dairy farming. But now things have changed because they are having discussions with the husband and the entire family. Let me then talk about the challenges. The challenges that we see, which have already been mentioned by some of the speakers. Women's limited access to land and control over resources. That is a clear gap which really needs to be looked into seriously and addressed. It's very possible through engagement of communities, because I'm looking at micro level, and constant engagement of communities with the expert organizations, gender equality organizations, and organizations which have models that work to engage cooperatives and ensure there is transformation of cultural perceptions and stereotypes against women. Indirectly discriminatory provisions in cooperatives, they do exist. We just need to wear gender lenses, gender equality lenses, and you realize that some of the provisions in the bylaws are discriminatory in a way, and they need to be checked, and that way cooperatives will move forward the agenda of gender equality. Women's underrepresentation in membership and leadership, it's also very clear. And the question is, why is it that they are providing labor, they are there in the farms, but when it comes to membership and leadership, they are not there. That is a challenge which needs to be checked. And what would, has worked well for us, and we'll recommend, is institutional gender equality approach, whereby you are looking at gender equality from an institutional perspective and asking yourself, as a cooperative, what can we do as an organization to ensure that gender equality is the key ingredient and not just an add-on? Because most of the time, the challenge that we face is our organization sometimes organize a training for women empowerment, and then we say gender equality was mainstreamed, which is not the case. In that case, gender equality appears to be a spice to the meal, but not a key ingredient. It needs to be looked at as the main component of what we are doing as cooperatives. Women's cooperatives, together with income-generating activities within cooperatives, is a good approach. In cases where communities have known, for example, cotton or coffee is a main affair, you can initiate small other income-generating activities as entry point, so as to ensure that women and, if need, youth also come on board. Gender analysis is very key, and that is where you will know how the community and even the leadership of the cooperatives perceive gender equality. Do they think that probably women are still their own enemies, or do they still probably lack understanding on why we are talking about gender equality in the perspective of sustainable development? Targeted approaches for women empowerment are very key. As much as we take the gender equality approach, we also need to have some specific interventions that focus on women empowerment. Because, for example, women have not been involved in, say, coffee farming. They need some specialized training, if it's in extension services, for example, for them to be able to reach out to the other women. So targeted approaches are very critical. And partnership with gender equality, women empowerment organization is very key. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, and thank you so much, Mr. Ora. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had an opportunity to listen to all the presenters, both from the macro level, the high level presenters who presented earlier on, and now we have had an opportunity also to listen and to understand, to get the facts of the best practices that are being implemented in the different countries. Now, we want to take it even further. We want to establish, are there some gaps that we really need to bridge, comparing the macro and, the micro level presenters? Or are there some recommendations that we want to propose, or the best practices that we want even to replicate? So this time I want to give it to the audience to ask and engage the panelists further. So I will take some questions from this side as well, because I think earlier on we really got a number of questions from this side. So if there are some questions coming from this side, we want to give you the priority as we cross over to this side, please. There is already a hand this side. Okay, Thank you so much. Let's get the mics, please. Can we have the mics, the microphones? Any comments? Any recommendations? Because we really want to promote, okay, that's okay. How can we best? Yes, please. Can I see other hands? Yes, please. There are two ladies already in front, and I will ask the panelists to note.
My due respect to the moderator and the panelists,
Please.
and the participant. My name is ARUWE from Malaysia. Okay, it is not a question, please. The last speaker, I think, I would say 100% I agree to that. And the topic is about gender equality. I think changes must come from ourselves. So we practice the thing in our country, especially in my cooperative, gender equality, decision making, and empowerment. Yeah, we are implementing. But I believe all this is something like an artificial. I heard a speaker from Turkey, I don't know by name, he was saying women's poverty. I think that women's poverty actually reflecting not women, it's reflecting the system. I believe it's the system, not women. It is very ridiculous to say that the women poverty, when the women belong to a family, and the family, the man gets more wages, and the female get less wages, which is actually determined by the system. I fundamentally think that most of the time, we are just addressing the wound and not seeing the actual cause of the wound. We, in this world, we have a lot of religion, and there is no religions giving importance to women's. Sorry for that. No religion have given importance to women's. So for that reason, the religion have somehow, directly or indirectly, have created a culture which, from the culture, an individual will become the authority, the system, the rulers. So the rulers determining the who to be who. So it is a man-dominated system. So the implication is that man-dominated system will give a less important to women. We know that women are triple burden people. They have to take care of the children, take care of the husband, and top of it, we are insisting women to participate in the community work. So indirectly, I think we are, in the name of development, community development, we are exploiting the women. So instead of changing the concept of religion and the system and the culture, I think there is no end for women's equality and empowerment. For instance, I said, when we talk about religion, till today we talk any word, artistic word, we say human, not women. Humankind, mankind, man is all man-made culture. So when we don't able to address this part of the thing, then the system won't change. Automatically, even an innocent man who really respects women will automatically be subjected to this influence, external influence of the system. So there is no to say men are bad. They are good because of the system. They are driven into it, and automatically they are against the women. I think maybe it is not a question.
Okay.
I place my doubts. Please need the explanation.
Thank you so much for that comment. The two ladies here. Okay. We are going to first take 5 questions or comments, and then I'll request the panelists to answer.
Okay. Thank you, Program Director. I want to talk to what Giselda. Yes.
Or use the mic.
Oh, Giselda spoke about the program for gender-based violence. In our country, we also have initiative. We have set aside the August month. It's the Women's Month in South Africa. And the 9th of August is Women's Day. So now, the challenge is that everybody in the country think women issues are only for August. Or on August the 9th, Women's Day. Same applies to the 16 days of no violence against women and children. Society thinks no violence must happen during the 16 days only. So government has initiated something that called 365 days for women empowerment. But still it's not happening. You know, women issues are taken very serious during those days. So I want to recommend also, Program Director, that as much as we are, it's almost like what you were saying, you know, the mainstreaming of gender issues must cut across the whole year. It mustn't be confined to certain times or certain programs like what Argentina is doing. If it's not that GBV campaign, then it means nobody's doing anything about women issues. But secondly, I want to talk as another recommendation, which I think the ICA must take up. Memory spoke about, and congratulations my sister for being nominated as one of the participants for the Beijing Plus 25. At UN Women level, we have the UN Women adopted the Women Empowerment Principles, the WEPs. The big business have signed up for WEPs. WEPs are principles to empower women at the workplace, marketplace, and at communities. So now, I think as countries, we need to challenge those big businesses to say, you have committed at UN level. So at country level, what are you doing? How are you demonstrating the implementation of the WEPs? And I think Memory, as you will be participating at the CSW, this is one of the challenges that we need to pose to private business. How are they helping to fight gender-based violence, to empower women, to ensure that women cooperatives are participating in the global value chains, even in their own value chains, because they would do the soft things of training women, but they will not give them market opportunities or procurement opportunities. So big business must come to the party.
Thank you so much. Elizabeth from Kenya. I just want to request that we make our questions or comments precise to give more opportunities to the rest also to ask.
Thank you very much. My name is Elizabeth Mueria. I work for V Agroforestry. For me, it's an observation and maybe a concern. Of course, women are not an amorphous group. There are different things that affect how they enjoy their rights. We have had programs for women, we have had programs for youth. But then when you break, especially in terms of the age, the young women get lost in the youth. So that when you disaggregate that data, you find only a very negligible number of the female youth. And then when you look at the women, then particularly the rural girls, female girls, they also get lost in the women. So it's a challenge to us in how we are working with women empowerment. We unpack, and we are deliberate and get to see what it is that we need to do to reach out to the young women. And I think it gets worse when they get married or when they get children early. For the young men, they will remain young men even at 35. Nobody looks whether they're married or they're educated. But for the girls, for the young women, so they need to unpack that and be deliberate on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just two more before we get to the responses. A gentleman and then a gentleman that side. Then we shall get two responses from the panelists. Behind there, sir, behind, and then the left side as well. If you could also tell us your name and where you're coming from.
Moi, je suis Yeo Largaton. Je viens de la Côte d'Ivoire. Le thème purement me vient droit au cœur parce que aujourd'hui, tout le monde sait qu'on ne peut pas aller sans les femmes. On ne peut pas aller sans les femmes. Il faut qu'on s'accompagne tous pour arriver. Et nous avons remarqué, si vous reculez en arrière de 20 ans, vous n'allez pas voir les places des femmes comme aujourd'hui c'est. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, on en a eu des présidentes de la République des femmes. On a des ministres des femmes. On a des directrices généraux des femmes. Mais si vous reculez en arrière de 20 ans, vous n'allez pas voir ça. Ça veut dire que petit à petit, on est en train de progresser et on va arriver. Les hommes doivent prendre soin de dire qu'on ne peut pas aller sans les femmes. Ce n'est pas forcément de rester ensemble comme ça qui dit qu'on est ensemble, mais c'est de se donner les programmes de la famille comme on le souhaite. Une famille même qui s'entend bien, tout ce qu'on gagne comme intérêt, et si on s'asseye, on fait le programme ensemble, vous voyez que cette famille-là vive heureuse par rapport à une famille qui ne se rend pas compte entre monsieur et sa femme, même s'il y a beaucoup de gains. Même s'il y a un petit sou et que vous vous asseyez, vous faites le programme, automatiquement vous avez une vie heureuse. Bon, donc moi j'ai dit aux hommes et aux femmes de prendre le courage, de se considérer tous et de savoir qu'il y a une femme tout à l'heure qui m'a précédé qui a dit ça ne peut pas être un programme pour dire que demain matin on va faire comme ça. Ça, c'est purement bien dit. Il faut que nous sachions qu'on va aller petit à petit, et on aura cette égalité que nous sommes en train de demander. Je vous remercie et j'en ai fini.
Thank you so much. And the last, in the first year. Yes, please.
My name is Ünal. I am from Turkey. I represent the Turkish Forestry Cooperative Central Union. Firstly, thank you very much, all speakers. And I must say that you are lucky also, many men support women. And woman power is a very important feature of the cooperative movement. I have two daughters, and mostly I support in my country women co-ops. Unfortunately, education level affect many things, and economic situation affect many things. Also, when I saw the coffee growers women, I remember in my country, farmer women. Also, we have similar situation. But in this subject, our main problem, education. And so that we are lucky also, last 20 years, United Nations support cooperative movement and support women must more active all social life. And others all over the world, global warming and global problems affect all over the world. And today also Dr. Shiva explained many things for future. And women must care of the cooperative movement. And so that right now is all over the world, all governments have a big problem about the global problems. And this subject, everybody think that women must be active in all activities, and mostly is cooperative movement. And I believe that, and in Turkey, cooperative believe that, we need more cooperative members, women leaders, and also other countries same. And my idea also, firstly, we must take care about education, girls, and all governments think about also thanks to Rwanda government about this subject and wonderful responsibility and support. And when I visit the rural location in Rwanda, really Rwanda need more cooperative movement power, and mostly, and all women was working in the field, really very sad story. And briefly, I must say that we must take care of also education, because education brings more opportunity. And in the board and all member corps, and woman doesn't want to be a leader, doesn't be also like a support. For example, I'm forestry cooperative representative. That in Turkey, women work forest together, family, because family can support woman. Woman is mother, woman is future, and solution is cooperative movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. And now over to our panelists. I don't know who wants to, Mr. Reid, I think you already have the mic. In under a minute, and then Gilda, I think, if you could share some response.
Okay. I think we had 6 speakers on the dais, and we had a couple of speakers from the audience, so that's nice. Thank you for that contribution. I think we need to be realistic about what is possible through cooperatives. We should not look at cooperatives as a panacea. They cannot be all things to all people. So I guess particularly a lot of cooperatives in many countries have specific objectives. They are oftentimes financial cooperatives, maybe agriculture cooperatives, value chain development cooperatives, or micro-enterprise cooperatives. So I think a lot of times empowerment is incidental to the work of the cooperatives. In a way, if women get an opportunity to come together, they then go beyond the specific objectives and then look at the larger goal of well-being. In a way, they become more aspirational. So I think our work in cooperatives must be focusing on building their capacities, their capabilities, and the aspiration that they want to achieve the impossible. And I guess that is what we need. And many cooperatives in the developing, undeveloped countries have created role models where women empowerment has been achieved. I guess what do we need to do is to universalize that in terms of taking that forward. So I guess these case studies that came from different countries is in a way giving you some ideas, some innovations, and some best practices for you to consider. I just take 30 seconds to just show one poster. This is the kind of, I can lift this. Yeah, so this is, maybe can you hold it for me? This one. Okay. So this is the kind of posters that we have developed when we talk about training and capacity building for cooperative organizations, particularly the board of directors of the cooperatives. I have actually a set of 15 posters that we have developed. So I think the point I'm trying to make is if we want to build the capacity of women who are involved in cooperatives, we need to give them continuous training and capacity building. And this is just a kind of an example of some of the work that we did. And with the cooperation of DGRV, we also have developed a number of modules. So I think we need to create resource material, standard operating procedures, and best practices, and not just do training which is somewhat superficial, but deepen that in terms of they being able to run their organizations effectively. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Reddy. Over to you, Gessler. You had a response? Yes.
Sí, muchas gracias. Voy a tratar de resumir conceptualmente 2 o 3 de los comentarios. Por un lado, el señor que habló primero creo que era de Malasia, puede ser, por allá. Me parece fundamental lo que plantea en función de que muchas veces nosotros seguimos poniendo la carga en las mujeres, cuando sabemos que hay un sistema que es, bueno, como decía esta mañana la compañera, que es el que no funciona. Pero de todas maneras, por lo menos desde mi perspectiva, hay que pensar las cosas en términos equilibrados. O sea, mientras vamos cambiando el sistema, pensar en empoderar a las mujeres. Una cosa sin la otra me parece que, por lo menos en mi opinión, no funciona. Lo digo en términos, bajando al tema cooperativo. Nosotros podemos generar normativa, generar leyes, generar cuotas, generar un montón de posibilidades, pero si la mujer no está empoderada, no siente que puede contribuir, terminan participando las hermanas, las tías, las novias, etcétera, de los varones. Entonces, a veces la normativa, lo que nosotros podamos ir haciendo para cambiar el sistema, si la mujer no está empoderada, no funciona. Y lo mismo viceversa, por ahí tenemos muchas mujeres con voluntad, con ganas, que se sienten que pueden aportar, pero el sistema es lo que está mal. O sea que en ese aspecto me parece que es importante pensarlo en términos equilibrados, en términos dimensionales, de distintas dimensiones de un mismo problema. Y ahí, tomando el tema religioso y sin meterme específicamente en la cuestión, nosotros tenemos un mundo donde hay muchísima cantidad de religiones, pero tenemos un modelo que es el cooperativo, que es universal. Entonces me parece que tenemos que aprovechar esa fortaleza que, bueno, el cooperativismo es más o menos el mismo en todo el mundo, es un lenguaje universal y que tenemos que pensar desde ahí cómo nosotros podemos aportar a estas cuestiones. Y después, con respecto a la pregunta de la compañera Sudáfrica, en relación a el momento, cuando, bueno, en general es típico, a nosotros nos pasa, de hecho ahora se viene como la temporada alta de firma de pacto porque viene el 25 de noviembre, entonces todas las cooperativas quieren, yo lo decía antes, tener un espacio, dar un paso, pero más allá de eso lo que importa es poner el tema en la agenda y nosotras vamos a hacer de cuenta que acá nadie escucha y esto no llega a la Argentina y les voy a contar un secreto, pero para nosotras cuando pensamos el tema del pacto también pensamos que era como una especie de caballo de Troya, porque era un tema en el cual la sociedad estaba muy sensibilizada por lo que yo les comentaba, entonces veíamos que con ese tema nosotros podíamos entrar a las cooperativas. Y una vez que nosotros entramos, ahí sí ponemos en discusión los otros temas que a veces son más difíciles de tratar, como la cuestión política, la participación, etcétera. Entonces, me parece que por ahí hay que buscar, y no importa si, bueno, se habla solamente en los días específicos, pero tener una visión estratégica y aprovechar el momento y desde ahí darle un poco de continuidad. Bueno, eso.
Okay. Thank you so much, Gisela. We still have an opportunity of receiving 2 more questions. Yes, please. The lady from the left and the lady from the right. And we can also have a gentleman as well. Yes. Okay, the three questions will crown the session, this Q&A.
Hello, my name is Maria. I'm from Argentina, and I want to explain experience. Oh, en Spanish. Bueno, soy María de Argentina. Nosotros formamos parte de una cooperativa de trabajos portuarios donde el trabajo es muy intenso, entonces todos los trabajadores son hombres. Las mujeres estamos en gestión o administrativos, pero a consecuencia de ello vemos que hay una generación de esposas de los trabajadores que una vez habilitamos la posibilidad de que vengan a capacitarse y solamente se anotó una esposa y vio que el trabajo era muy, muy fuerte para una mujer. Entonces, a raíz de eso, vimos que esa generación de edad de 30, 45, 50 años que son esposas de los trabajadores no tenían posibilidad de insertarse en el mercado laboral porque hay un gran porcentaje de desempleo en Argentina, pero sí estábamos analizando la situación de crear una cooperativa, intercooperando con la cooperativa madre, por ejemplo, una de textil, para que esas esposas de los trabajadores formen parte de esa cooperativa, que esa cooperativa textil brinde todo el uniforme o la vestimenta de los trabajadores, y es la forma de engrandecer a esas mujeres y sacarlas de la casa, porque ellos tienen una formación cultural de que siguen en la casa cuidando a los chicos. Y creo que las cooperativas es una forma de ellos de brindarnos esa posibilidad. Entonces, intercooperando y dándole la posibilidad de generar nuevos empleos a favor de esas mujeres que por falta de estudio o por una cuestión cultural se han quedado en su casa. Entonces, bueno, eso es un proyecto que los vamos a implementar en breve.
Thank you so much. Yes, please. The gentleman and then the lady. And if there are any specific questions to the, going to the panelists that made the case studies, those are also welcome. Please.
Bien, merci de me donner la parole. Je voudrais remercier les orateurs. Je parlais de M. Oral de la Turquie, Mme Gisela de l'Argentine, M. Chadra de l'Inde, qui nous ont fait partager leur expérience ici. Nous souhaitons, pour nous qui sommes loin d'eux, que cette expérience-là nous soit partagée beaucoup plus. Ça veut dire que nous devons pouvoir être en contact avec eux. J'ai par ailleurs écouté Madame Maria, Madame Memory, tout comme M. Jonathan, qui ont fait largement écho de l'inégalité entre les hommes et les femmes. C'est un volet, personnellement, que je n'ai jamais voulu accepter. Moi, je suis le maire d'une commune au Cameroun, parce que je viens du Cameroun. Et dans ma commune, 80% des femmes occupent les grandes fonctions parce qu'elles sont capables, parce qu'elles méritent également. Et nous avons constaté par ailleurs que c'est les femmes, la plupart des cas, qui sont contre les femmes. Parce que si vous avez 10 femmes dans une coopérative, pour prendre cet exemple, et qu'il y a seulement un seul homme, quand il faudra choisir le leader, les femmes vont voter l'homme. Donc le problème de la femme ici, c'est les femmes elles-mêmes qui ne veulent jamais. Donc nous souhaitons que les femmes prennent leurs responsabilités, qu'elles oublient les problèmes qu'elles peuvent avoir entre elles déjà et qu'elles prennent les responsabilités en main. Donc je voudrais donc terminer en disant merci pour l'organisation de cette cérémonie.
Thank you. And we shall have our last question from the lady. Yeah.
Good evening. Once upon, I want to say thank you to all panelists for the sharing of what you have taught us. I have learned a lot from you guys. Thank you very much. But my concern is, as a woman, you have to lay children. You have to raise them, to take care of them. As a man, it's not his job to raise the children as African we used to do. But I can encourage, I can say that when you prepare a training for that woman, we have to consider about raising children and considering of what you have trying to teach them and what you are capable of doing, what they are going to achieve after those training. Those two things should be going parallel. For example, if you, based on training about cooperative, and you lay down about the raise of children, I think you're going to have a bad nation in future without considering raise of children as a woman. That is our job as a woman. Secondly, I can say that in African, we used to be busy as a woman at home rather than at work. As my colleagues say that, my father there from, I think it's Nigeria, say that a little bit, now we are going to see number of cities of women is increasing. But the pace is very, very little because of fear of a woman. You see, standing in front of man, standing in front of other woman, he says, I'm going to address 1, 2, 3, say, I can achieve this. That is fear inside ourselves. But I can say that, first of all, we have to remove that fear from our heart so that you can stand and to say what you are supposed to say, teach what you are supposed to teach for our future. But second, I wanted to say that about woman, we should pray hard because without praying, nothing will happen. As a woman, we are supposed to pray for our children, for our husband, for our home, for what you are supposed to do. Without praying, our dear colleagues, nothing will happen. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm just going to request just 2 panelists to make their, responses and also concluding remarks. Just 2 of you are going to represent the rest. So the 2 ladies are already having their hands up. Okay, let's have you do it. Who wants to start, Memory or Maria? In under a minute.
Bueno, yo quiero tocar el tema del empoderamiento de las mujeres. Las mujeres queremos empoderarnos, queremos ocupar cargos directivos, queremos dirigir nuestras organizaciones cooperativas o nuestra familia, que esa es una gran empresa también. Pero para poderlo hacer, además del tema de la educación o en el tema de la educación, hay que incluir algunos temas que son muy importantes también, y es que nosotras tenemos que liberarnos de un montón de culpas que nos han generado todas nuestras culturas, porque puede ser en Asia, en África, en América o en Europa, todas tenemos un montón de culpas. Y cuando salimos a prepararnos, a educarnos para podernos empoderar y para ir a la universidad o recibir un curso en finanzas, en cómo manejar el dinero y demás, y dejamos los hijos solos o los hijos con el papá, porque él es el papá, él también tiene que asumir ese rol que a veces no es fácil, en América también a veces es difícil que los padres se hagan cargo de los hijos, pero ya hay hombres que asumen su rol de padre con responsabilidad y con amor y permiten que, permiten no, es una palabra inadecuada, ayudan a que colaboran en las tareas del hogar que también son su responsabilidad y la mujer puede salir a hacer todo ese proceso de preparación que le sirve al empoderamiento. Las mujeres no somos enemigas de las mujeres. Las mujeres a veces no tenemos la conciencia de género que es necesaria. Todos ustedes que están aquí están aprendiendo algo de lo que significa la equidad de género, de lo que es trabajar en equidad hombres y mujeres para lograr la igualdad. Pero no quiere decir que seamos enemigas o que no nos apoyemos. Hay un problema de educación, de conceptualización, de que tenemos que ir creciendo en lo que significa ese empoderamiento y porque nosotras, que somos líderes naturales, pero que siempre se nos dejó en un rol secundario, porque a los niños les dan juegos, desde niños a los hijos, hombres se les dice, juegue a los carros, haga deportes de riesgo, corra, salte por todas partes, no se le pone ninguna limitación. A las niñas las dejamos en la casa, cada vez que va a saltar las vamos a regañar o les vamos a reprender porque hay un riesgo para la vida de ella, las llenamos de miedos y son cosas tan simples como esas, lo que ha generado una educación diferente entre hombres y mujeres. Las cosas hoy para los jóvenes afortunadamente han ido cambiando, pero nosotras lo que estamos buscando hoy es empoderar a las mujeres para que nos atrevamos a postularnos y hagamos lo mismo que hacen los caballeros en época de campaña, convencer a los otros y las otras a que voten por esa mujer líder. Y estamos en esa tarea. Yo creo que cada día un poco mejor y un poco más, y como decía el señor allá en unos términos tan dulces, diría yo, que él ve un mundo mejor cuando ve que las mujeres y los hombres estamos trabajando juntos. Entonces no creo que, pues quiero dejar como ese mal sabor de que nosotros no nos competimos, no somos enemigas, eso es un imaginario que tenemos y que hay que combatir, evitar. Nosotras podemos ser unas grandes aliadas y prueba de ello es que cada vez que hay una crisis natural o social, las mujeres somos las primeras que salimos a hacer un trabajo solidario y liderando.
I think, in the interest of time, I'm just going to request that we shall engage shortly after here because we are running out of time and we have to listen to the closing remarks. But I just want, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm really convinced that we have had such a great opportunity to highlight on the importance of women empowerment and gender. Okay, and gender empowerment in sustainable development. And before, I think Memory just wants, before I invite Mrs. Agnes to give the closing remarks, just a second, Memory just requests, just a second.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to just say a few things because there was a question around economic violence, which came out in the previous session. So I just wanted to say in terms
very
of…
quickly?
Yes, issues around litigating against economic violence is that we have to understand that issues of violence happen in the private space, but they also manifest in the public space. So there are all the protocols. I think our colleague from Argentina shared some of the protocols. But so that's one thing in terms of economic violence, that there's a burden of proof, trying to prove that it's economic violence. So when it's manifesting in cooperatives or in any sectors, we should understand that the root around violence against women is the same root, whether it's in the private or in the public, and it should be addressed. The second issue is that there was also a question around where is the problem? Are women a problem? And I want to say women are not a problem. So there's this notion that because you're a woman, I should vote for you, yet not understanding the ideology. So I cannot vote for a woman unless the ideology meets my ideology. So regardless whether I'm a woman or a man, we should be questioning the ideology. But the system, which we call the patriarchy system, is a system which works to make sure that women believe that they're enemies of itself. So it's like putting new wine in old skins. Until we change the structural inherent issues around this system. So it works both ways. It works in the religious angle to make women enemies of themselves. There is no religion whatsoever that does not recognize women's equality and that does not promote women to be business, to make money for themselves, to even own land in their name. So it will use culture, it will use religion, it will use the political system. So when we start analyzing these layers of what we call this patriarchal system, which negatively affects women, then we are not going anywhere in any way. So this is the things that we need to really start looking at the barriers. So even if we have women in positions, and it's good we're in Rwanda. So Rwanda has 61% women, the highest number in parliament. They've been consistent in 3-4 terms. So here in Rwanda, women have been electing women. But what has happened is there's a political will which has created an environment. So if I'm sitting or if I want to be in parliament or in any position and I'm here in Rwanda, I'm not going to be denigrated. They still face a lot of barriers, but it's not the same. So the media is not going to use my body, it's not going to insult me. The system has been enabling to allow women to be in positions. And people have seen the role modeling. So in any system, be it judiciary, here in Rwanda, where we are sitting, women are leading. And it's already showing that women can lead. And once the system is addressed, the root cause, so I just wanted to say that because I could not go without saying it.
Yeah, very important. Thank you so much. And to give our closing remarks is Mrs. Agnes Mathias, the Director of Cooperative Europe. Mrs. Mathias is currently Director of Cooperative Europe, the European organization representing cooperatives at European level. She's a lawyer, graduated from the University of La Sorbonne. She has worked with Ballon, Lendy, and Gilbert Solicitors in London and Wellness Tische Insurance Group in Vienna. She then has worked in the cooperative movement after being responsible for European affairs at FEBE Cooperatives. In 2006, she took over the position of Deputy Director at Cooperatives Europe, where she was responsible for advocacy and institution relations. She was appointed Director in June 2016, representing 176,000 enterprises across Europe. She advocates to create a level playing field between cooperatives and other forms of enterprises at transactional level and supports projects for the development of cooperatives. Ms. Agnes, please join us to give the closing remarks. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's always funny to see your life summarized in 1 minute. To be complete, I must add that I have 2 kids and 1 man, which is the same from the beginning. I read in a paper that in this year, in 2019, Mrs. Louise Mishika-Wabo from Rwanda was nominated General Secretary from the International Organization for the Francophonie. So being in Kigali and being French, allow me now to switch into French for the rest of the conclusion. Please put your headset on. L'égalité des genres doit être une prière pour tous, parce que non seulement elle permet la réalisation individuelle de chacun, mais également c'est un des piliers pour un développement économique soutenable et démocratique. Mais quelle égalité? Une vraie égalité. Est-ce que le fait d'être dans un board pour une femme sans avoir aucun pouvoir, comme vous l'avez dit, madame, lors de la première session, est une avancée pour les femmes? C'est la question. Moi-même, dans une de mes expériences professionnelles, mon employeur m'a poussé pour être membre d'un groupe d'experts haut niveau sur un sujet auquel je ne connaissais rien. Comme je m'en inquiétais, on m'a dit que ce n'était pas la peine que je m'en inquiète, que tout serait proposé, préparé, tout ce que j'aurais à faire, en fait, c'est répéter ce qu'on me dira de dire. Ça s'appelle une potiche en français. Donc ça, ce n'est pas l'égalité pour laquelle nous devons œuvrer et travailler. Nous avons eu la présentation de projets de différents endroits, de différents secteurs, de différentes tailles. Tous ont démontré que le modèle coopératif est un outil formidable d'insertion économique, de valorisation des capacités de chacun et d'autonomisation des femmes, un mot qui a été très souvent employé cet après-midi. Alors nous, évidemment, dans ce magnifique auditorium, nous ne sommes pas surpris. Nous le savons, certains parmi nous y travaillent, le vivent, le développent, le promeuvent, le défendent. Mais qu'en est-il en dehors de cette salle? Faites l'expérience autour de vous, demandez si combien autour de vous savent ce que les coopératives peuvent apporter à l'égalité entre les hommes et les femmes et apporter à la société en général. Nous devons le faire connaître en utilisant tous les moyens possibles, non seulement au milieu des réseaux coopératifs, mais au niveau des réseaux professionnels qui ne connaissent pas ou qui ne sont pas des coopératives. Je crois que la promotion est un élément très important. Mais dans cet atelier, nos discussions et les interventions multiples que nous avons eues ont également montré le chemin qui reste à parcourir, y compris au sein de notre mouvement. Nous ne devons pas avoir peur de l'autocritique. Toutes les coopératives ne favorisent pas l'égalité des genres. Et l'expérience professionnelle dont je vous parlais, elle a malheureusement eu lieu dans une entreprise coopérative. Donc nous avons beaucoup de travail aussi en interne à faire, même si c'est vrai qu'il y a énormément de progrès. Nous avons en général beaucoup d'enseignements et de conclusions à retenir. Cette session a bien sûr prouvé que les principes et les valeurs coopératives sont un moteur pour le développement social, la réduction de la pauvreté, la création de l'emploi. La coopérative est un catalyseur pour l'autonomisation des femmes et par l'entrepreneuriat. Le principe de l'adhésion volontaire et ouverte, du contrôle démocratique, est un moyen d'attirer de façon inclusive de nouveaux membres, sans discrimination et à égalité de pouvoir dans le processus décisionnel. Le projet présenté par We Effect a montré comment la coopérative a permis aux femmes d'être en même temps membres, managers, investisseurs, employeurs et bénéficiaires. Nous avons aussi vu que le travail décent, tel que promu et défendu par l'Organisation internationale du travail, est l'une des valeurs coopératives. Les conditions de travail doivent être sécurisées, respecter le travailleur et lui assurer une protection sociale. Et ceci peut influencer au-delà du lieu du travail en lui-même. C'est l'exemple que nous avons vu à travers Coopérar, qui a démontré comment les outils et les lignes directrices définies pour lutter contre la violence des femmes sur le lieu de travail a influencé non seulement d'autres coopératives, mais aussi des acteurs de la communauté locale. Enfin, le principe de self-help peut accroître les ressources et les pouvoirs des femmes comme membres d'une communauté ou même au sein de la famille, au sein de la maisonnée, comme nous disons. C'est l'exemple que nous avons eu avec APMAS, où il y a un lien clair entre le développement économique, la communauté locale et le processus d'autonomisation économique des femmes au sein du projet. C'était également le cas au sein du projet de la coopérative d'énergie renouvelable en Turquie, Troya, où pour être membre, les femmes doivent avoir un contrat en leur nom. Il y aura bientôt, je crois que c'est l'année prochaine, le 25e anniversaire de la déclaration de Pékin sur l'égalité des droits et des accès pour les femmes. Il y a encore beaucoup à faire, beaucoup à préserver, car rien n'est acquis. Nous savons très bien que dans des situations de guerre, de violence, de difficultés économiques, les premières victimes, ce sont toujours les femmes. Ce sont les femmes qui font le plus face à l'obscurantisme religieux, quelle que soit sa nature. Donc nous avons un travail sur l'égalité pour appliquer, d'abord progresser, appliquer ce qui existe et préserver ce que nous avons acquis, parfois de haute lutte. Je n'oublie jamais les femmes qui sont mortes pour avoir le droit de vote, pour me permettre, moi, d'aller voter. Et c'est un devoir au nom de ces femmes que je continue de le faire. Vis-à-vis des recommandations, il y en a eu plusieurs qui ont été citées. Anna, qui a préparé tout cet atelier, les a minutieusement reprises et elles sont reprises dans le rapport qui sera fait sur cet atelier. Il y en a quand même deux que je voudrais reprendre. La première, ça concerne l'éducation. Alors, non seulement l'éducation scolaire, l'accès à faire des études, l'accès à faire des études qui ne sont soi-disant pas féminines, mais c'est aussi, j'allais dire, l'éducation familiale. Nous sommes la majorité dans la salle, j'espère, parents. Quelle éducation donnons-nous à nos enfants? Comment est-ce qu'on élève notre fille par rapport à notre fils? Alors, je ne rentrerai pas dans le débat de l'éducation genrée, mais ce qui importe, je crois, c'est qu'un fils comme une fille soit éduqué de façon à ce qu'ils sachent qu'ils peuvent tout entreprendre, qu'il n'y a pas de barrière du fait que c'est une fille ou du fait que c'est un garçon. Et ce n'est pas toujours évident, soyons honnêtes entre nous-mêmes. par an, est-ce que d'instinct, on n'a pas envie, comme vous le disiez, Maria-Eugenia, d'aller, de dire à sa fille, sois plus raisonnable, et on est content quand son garçon rentre après avoir fait une soirée, parce qu'on dit, mais non, c'est un homme, il a fait la fête. Donc ça, c'est aussi une balle qui est dans notre camp. Et l'autre élément qui est important, c'est ce qu'on appelle le women's leadership, la place de la femme dans l'entreprise. C'est vrai qu'on est très souvent axé sur des discussions relatives aux quotas, que la femme soit membre du board, qu'elle ait des postes de responsabilité. C'est exact. Mais est-ce que nous, les femmes, on ne doit pas non plus penser à faire un travail de petite fourmi? J'aimerais savoir le nombre de femmes qui sont responsables des ressources humaines dans les entreprises, y compris les entreprises coopératives. C'est un poste clé. C'est un poste qui nous permet aussi de favoriser, de pousser à l'égalité hommes-femmes et avec les collègues masculins. Car c'est le dernier point que je voudrais aborder, ça a été dit par plusieurs personnes intervenantes, c'est quelque chose qu'on doit faire ensemble. Je n'aime pas personnellement tellement les démonstrations où ce sont les femmes qui se font par rapport aux hommes. Il faut qu'on soit fait ensemble. Mais pour cela, il y a un mot par lequel je terminerai ces conclusions, c'est tout simplement le mot respect. Je vous remercie.